Hey guys, let's get more news about Lakers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Lakers pitch would move Russell and first-round pick package for $160 million wing. The Los Angeles Lakers front office faces even more pressure to upgrade their roster after 39-year-old LeBron James showed he still has enough in the tank to lead a team in the Olympics. Los Angeles hasn't added any players in free agency or a trade after losing in the first round of the NBA playoffs to the Denver Nuggets. Zach Buckley of Bleacher Report called the Lakers' quiet offseason borderline indefensible, highlighting the need for improvements next to James. Perhaps LeBron James' MVP performance at the Olympics will be a wake-up call for the Lakers, Buckley wrote on August 16. Their sleepy summer feels borderline indefensible with the 39-year-old still hooping at such a high level and still being in such obvious need of an upgraded supporting cast. To help improve the roster, Buckley proposed a trade that'd send D'Angelo Russell, a first-round pick, and more to the Portland Trail Blazers for Jeremy Grant. Lakers would get, Grant. Trail Blazers would get, Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, Maxwell Lewis, 2029 first-round pick. Grant probably isn't a 20-point scorer on a good team, but he could be an efficient third or fourth option who increases the club's versatility on defense, Buckley wrote. In the past, there may have been spacing concerns with slotting him alongside James and Anthony Davis, but he alleviated many of them with a 40+% splash rate on decent volume over the past 2 seasons. The 30-year-old isn't quite a third star, but he could star in sort of a souped-up 3-and-D role. And who knows, maybe if the Lakers can coax a leap year out of Austin Reeves, they'll already have a third star in-house. With James and Anthony Davis only getting older, the Los Angeles Lakers must be smart with who they trade their picks for. Their only 2 tradable first-round picks are in 2029 and 2031, likely when James is long gone. Lacking a young star on the roster and talent in general, Dan Favale of Bleacher Report named their first-round picks the 4th best trade asset in the league. Timelines change fast in the NBA. That 5 to 7 year window could represent 3 or more different iterations of the Lakers, Favale wrote on July 30. And the more they turn things over, the more likely one of those selections becomes a high lottery pick. Grant, who turns 31 in the season, isn't someone the Lakers can bank on to be a high-level player in a few years due to his age, which complicates matters. The Los Angeles Lakers trading a first-round pick, Russell, and more would see them move many of their top assets. Grant, entering the second year of his 5-year, $160.0 million contract, would be a nice addition to the team. He averaged 21.0 points, 3.5 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and shot 40.2% from three-point range on 5.1 attempts per game. His 6'7" frame would also give the Lakers a player they could put on wings. However, moving Russell, who averaged 18.0 points, 6.3 assists, and shot 41.5% from three-point range on 7.2 attempts in 2023-24 plus a first-round pick in Vanderbilt would be a massive price. Vanderbilt, who dealt with injuries and played in just 29 games last year, is an elite defender and would be missed on that end. Former Lakers player shares the best advice Kobe Bryant gave him. Darius Johnson-Odom was a teammate of Kobe Bryant during the 2012-13 season and learned a lot from being around him. During an interview with Sam Okoro, Johnson-Odom revealed the best advice Bryant ever gave him. "I'm a real high-intensity guy and emotional when it comes to basketball," Johnson-Odom said. "Jordan Hill came at me all of a sudden, being physical, but it was just basketball. I think I was yelling at him or something." Kobe Bryant said, "Hey, look, man, don't say nothing to people like that. Just hoop. If you let your emotions run over, then you ain't gonna be nothing during practice or in games." He let me know. He knew I was working hard, he knew I worked hard, but it was the little stuff that he would tell you to help with your mental, Johnson-Odom continued. And I think that's very important. How you incorporate your mentality on the court, And, off the court, I think that makes who you are as a basketball player as well. So much of the game comes down to the mental aspect, and Bryant knew that very well. His ability to stay laser-focused and not let his emotions get the better of him, for the most part, was a big reason why he went down as one of the greatest players ever. Upon seeing a character like Johnson Odom, Bryant immediately realized that he had to learn to control his emotions on the court and in practice if he was ever going to amount to much in the NBA. Unfortunately, while Kobe gave him some sound advice, his NBA career wasn't going to last much longer. Johnson Odom had been selected with the 55th pick of the 2012 NBA draft by the Dallas Mavericks after a solid college career at Marquette. The Mavericks then immediately traded him to the Los Angeles Lakers, and he would spend much of his rookie season in the D-League. Johnson Odom would play fairly well for the Los Angeles Defenders, averaging 21.0 points, 5.2 rebounds, 5.2 assists, 1.3 steals, and 0.2 blocks per game. He didn't do well enough to get a lot of opportunities with the Lakers, though, as he played just 4 games for them as a rookie. He didn't score a point in any of them and was waived mid-season. Following spells overseas and in the G League, Johnson Odom would get another shot in the NBA with the Philadelphia 76ers in 2014. The 76ers signed him to a 10-day contract in March, but after he went scoreless in 3 games, he wasn't offered a second 10-day deal. With that, Johnson Odom's NBA career was over. He played 7 games in total and averaged 0.9 rebounds and 0.3 assists in them. Johnson Odom has spent much of the following years in Europe and now plays for Orléans Loire Basket in France. Report: Lakers will probably try to acquire Jonas Valaciunas from Wizards. According to NBA reporter Jovan Buha of The Athletic, the Los Angeles Lakers will probably try to acquire Jonas Valaciunas from the Washington Wizards. Valanciunas signed a 3-year, $30.3 million contract with the Wizards this offseason as part of a sign-and-trade deal with the New Orleans Pelicans. The Lakers were interested in signing Valanciunas. Superstar LeBron James was open to taking less money on his new deal for LA to add the center. There was some interest obviously, Buha said on his podcast. He was on LeBron's list, so I think the Lakers will probably revisit that. Valanciunas averaged 12.2 points, 8.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 0.4 steals and 0.8 blocks in 2023-24 for the Pelicans while shooting 55.9% from the field, 30.8% from beyond the arc and 78.5% from the free throw line. He had 33 double-doubles. The 32-year-old Valanciunas has career averages of 13.4 points, 9.5 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 0.4 blocks and 1.0 blocks with the Toronto Raptors, Memphis Grizzlies, and Pelicans. According to NBA insider Sean Devaney of Heavy Sports, many people around the NBA believe Valanciunas was signed by the Wizards just to be traded. It is a really smart deal for Valanciunas, because it got him paid at a time when there were just not that many spots available. It's musical chairs, and if you do not get one of the first slots now with the new rules, you're screwed, one NBA exec said. There's not as much flexibility. But this gets you paid, and the team paying you can say, hey, we'll get you to a contender when the time comes. You see it in baseball all the time, a guy who signs with a bad team just to be traded later, and you're going to see more of it in our game. The Lakers lost to the Denver Nuggets in the first round of the 2024 playoffs in 5 games. Denver also beat Los Angeles in the 2023 Western Conference Finals in 4 games. The Lakers fired Darvin Ham as head coach and hired former NBA guard J.J. Redick, who was podcast partners with LeBron. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Jonas Valanciunas? Leave your opinion in the comments.